Welcome back, everyone. So, how do we improve our chess according to science? No, this is not my experience, which can be really valuable, but according to science, a more scientific approach. So, I pull up a research document. I'm gonna leave it in the description if you wanna give it a read. So, let's break it down the most important principles. I read it for you, so you don't have to read it. Learning occurs best from the simple to complex. What you want to do is solve simple problems. That is how you want to start, and then bump it up a little higher. I see many people, and I think I am on this one as well, where we're trying to solve super complex, complicated puzzles just to demonstrate that we're smart. That's fine, but we also want to do a lot of repetition. We're gonna get into that later. So an example will be like this one. So, okay, rook f1, we start, and then that makes sense, right? Okay, we just give a check, then queen f2, and the absolute best move in the position, which to me was like, wait, this is crazy. To me, it makes sense just to take the queen. It turns out this is going to lead to a draw after rook takes, queen b7, king g6. This is a draw. What you have to do is, okay, after queen f2, queen e1. Yeah, you have to retreat the queen, queen e1, and now queen takes on f1, and you take, and you still keep the advantage with white. Okay, this is kind of complex, right? It's not so easy. You want to start with simple puzzles, mating one. Okay, see here you see the back rank. We just play rook e8, sorry, king g8, rook e8, checkmate. And then, okay, you see that you bump it up. Okay, you go a little bit more difficult. Bishop d7. Okay, we have a check here. That one is easy. Okay, you can do that now. I already discovered the solution, but okay, we give a check, queen f8. We give a check here with the queen. The king has to move, bishop d4. Okay, so this is how you want to do, learning a core best from simple to complex. All right, the second principle is learning a course best when the elements to be learned are clearly identified. That's why I always have text on my videos. I'm giving you the exact concept, right? It's not like in a school where the professor gives you, or he's solving like a math equation. Did you learn anything? No. Like you have to break it down. You have to break it down in terms that everybody can understand. So in this example, for if I was explaining, we want to get a 2 bishop advantage. How can we accomplish this in this position? Okay, you have to play knight c3. Knight c3, the best move is to take, and now you have the 2 bishop advantage. If they don't take, now you get into this rabbit hole because, okay, queen has to move. Now you can put your bishop on the long diagonal, and okay, let's say the knight retreats. You can trade knights here, and then come in with your other knight. Okay, but see here, you see clearly why the 2 bishop advantage is powerful. You have to identify these elements. The next tip I'm gonna give you is the learning occurs best on an improving spiral. Let's say that you already understood this concept, this idea of the 2 bishop advantage, and then you want to add more additional information. You want to come back to this position, right? You want to come back to this position and go, oh, wait, I already identified. Maybe you're also seeing not only the 2 bishop advantage, you see the mobility of the knights. You might see that the rook is an unopened file. All your pieces are beautiful. This 3-point chain is keeping the king safe, right? So you are adding more concepts into your learning, into your knowledge, just by going back to this. So you want to apply this concept of improving a spiral, where you're gonna go back and add more knowledge into your brain. Those were general principles that you can apply in different sections of the game. For example, puzzles. You solve from simple to complex. Now with openings, you want to do the same thing. And there is a very unique method, the composition method. The first thing is, I'm gonna ask you, which side do you prefer to play with? Do you prefer to play with white or black? I'm gonna say I would prefer to play with white. We have a slight advantage pieces, materials are the game, material are even, but we just have a little bit more space. And now we can grab more space by playing f4. Another move will be h3, for example. Is a whole difference, a space advantage, right? Now, the decomposition method is looking at the same position, but without pieces. In this case, we have only two pieces, and we have exactly the same pawn structure, right? Now, what side do you prefer to play with? I actually prefer to play with black, because now you can create a pass pawn. It's not super clear, but here you have almost like 4 versus 2 on this side of the board, or 3. Let's just break it down in 3 versus 2. And I prefer to play with white, and the computer agrees with me. The computer is saying 0 0 0, but it's still just easier to play, slightly easier to play with black. Now that's what you want to do. Choose not only the opening for the opening itself, but choose the end game that this opening is going to lead you. The next tip I have for you is focus on a limited number of positions and openings. So I used to be this generalist, the player who likes to play all kinds of openings. Huge mistake. I'm focusing on only one opening with white, one opening with black. In the last month, I got 150 ELO points. So I have this table, you can access it for free, where I have the different characteristics in tactical openings and positional openings. So check it out, and also flexible, right? Openings should be studied from different points of view. So you want to get familiar with not only the opening, but middle game and end game ideas. An example, let's say, okay, we're studying the Queen's Gambit, d4, d5, c4, challenging the center, e6, knight c3, knight f6, c takes on d5. And now, okay, they take this pawn, we can play e3, and they can get c6. So a common plan is to go for this plan, right? And we can even break it down. That will be the minority attack, because we're attacking with 2 pawns, we're attacking 3 pawns. That's why it's minority. We can even use the decomposition method. So this is going to be exactly the same pawn structure. And then we get familiar with these ideas. So like, oh, okay, I have it clear. I know that I have to push pawns. So going for this minority attack, right? Okay, last advice in this section of openings. You want to find a balance between rote learning, which includes memorization, repetition, and actually understanding, comprehending what we're doing, why we're pushing pawns, why we're moving pieces. So that will be the best strategy, just to have some balance there, because some players can surprise you if you don't know exactly what you're doing, right? If you don't know the theory exactly, so at least understand what we're doing. A quick commercial before we move on. So I created a 30-day mastery plan to enhance your training. It's gonna cover from opening theory, time management, endgame, pattern recognition. It has already included some of the principles we saw in this video, and you're gonna have one activity to do every day. So let's go with day 11, for example. You analyze 3 to 4 middle games from classic games, identify the plans on each side. Then a psychological task as well. You will see every time you see on underline, you will have a clickable link. Okay, so pro tip, and then the middle game priorities. This one leads to a video, and this one leads to middle game positions, different positions. So let's check it out. Here is a bit awkward, but okay, let's just move on. Paul Murphy game. So here you have to figure out what was the plan for white, what was the plan for black, and that will be your day 11. If you're interested, I'm launching it for $6 only. This is a launching price. It might change later because it might need some adjustments, but this is going to be for life, so you don't have to purchase again. If there is updates, you can download the next versions for free. Okay, let's move on. All right, let's get into the middle game. This is going to be advice on calculation, right? How do we calculate better? How do we get better? So in this line, I figure, okay, what why don't I just take this pawn? It's only been protected twice, and I am attacking it 3 times. So I should be winning. What I didn't like was he might have this move. After I take this, he might have bishop e3, and I get some kind of pin. So I stopped calculating after this. Then I figured, okay, what is my next candidate move? Maybe I can take this pawn. If they take, I can just take here. If they take back, I can take with the rook. So maybe the best move will be to go here and try to, like, okay, get my rook or get my bishop. So I was just calculating different lines. But what you have to do is not calculate only once, but revisit the same variation again. So what I should have done is go like, wait, let me calculate again here, because there might be something. And yeah, that was actually the best move in the position. So after this, if they play bishop e3, and now I can just take the bishop, which is hanging. And if they take here, yeah, I just take the bishop. So nothing to be afraid of. And just out of curiosity, I can show you. So after knight takes on g3, queen takes on g3, I took the knight, rook c1, and I actually didn't see this move. Queen takes on d4, right? So I don't even care here. If they take with the bishop, this bishop is hanging. So that's what they did. I was like, okay. But what I also didn't see was this line. So this is going to lead to a draw, right? I just take, and they take here. So yeah, this is a drawish game, and that's how the game ended up. It was just a dead draw. There is a word on books. Textbooks on chess strategy is certainly useful, but the benefits from additional material decrease rapidly. So you have this effect of the law of diminishing returns. The more you study this type of books, then the less benefits you get, because you will see similar type of positions. What you have to do is build your own opening repertoire, and that is how some books are built. So they might be specific on the Sicilian defense and the common ideas for the middle game. So, but you can create your own. I can show you here. This is what I would do if I was building my opening repertoire. So okay, I play an opening, and I made a mistake on move 8. I play d4. So what is the mistake here? The computer is show me I had to play d1, rook d1 first, so I can support this pawn, right? Because now I'm just losing a pawn for no reason. Okay, so you can even make a note here. Okay, so I don't know, like support or play, however note you want to make. So it has to be significant for you. Like rook d1 to support e4. And now you go to this section. I'm gonna move okay, here. You go to this section, add to a game collection, and you can make a new one. Okay, create new collection, English opening repertoire, however you want to call it. And now, yeah, I just have one game here, and I can keep adding onto this library. Okay, and now you want to see it later. Okay, you can go to more and then library. There you go. There's gonna be your English opening repertoire, and at least I learned one lesson from this game. And you can also see your notes here later, so it's all good. In the research I took a deep dive, they recommend studying endgames from an early point. And you should give a special emphasis to pawn and rook endgames. So you should be able to win this pawn versus rook endgame with white. Here is something else. You want to study the typical endgames resulting from the openings that you are playing. So in this case, I know I want to castle this way, so I'm not going to move these pawns. These 4 pawns. Possibly I might have ideas of pushing everything on the queen side. So a few moves later, I'm going to show you the end of the endgame. So I have this endgame. Okay, he still has this passer, but this pawns didn't move. So I want to study how to play 2 versus 2 and bishop versus rook endgame, right? That was a common endgame for me. Let's see how I can win with the rook, or how to hold the draw in this situation, right? I think I'm actually losing because I have the pass pawn. But that's just an example. Just an example of, okay, what are the endings that I'm having? What are the endgames? I nearly forgot this advice. The research recommends not practicing with artistic chess problems. Maybe it's a composition, a crazy problem that can be really fun. In the past and the present, I have done this where I'm just solving something that is gonna be, it will blow your mind. However, it's unlikely to happen in a game. Some of these, they might have common themes in chess, so I would encourage you to solve those. But in this case, it's weird. It's gonna be strange that you come across kind of a position like this. So in this case, you have to play king c2, which goes against the instinct. And now one of the saving, well, the move that continues the game is to go here, and now you deliver checkmate, right? So, but yeah, sometimes people spend like half an hour just trying to solve one of these problems. No, spend all your time on easier problems, challenging enough for you, not too easy, not too difficult, but are significant to your progress.